Hi friends, it's Gloria from Golden Bucket Farm, and today I am here sharing my, as you can see, 2015 Journaling by Fives journal. And I hope that, let's see, hope I'm not getting it too glary there. Anyway, Journaling by Fives is the brainchild of Shannon here on YouTube. And I will put a link in the description if you're not familiar with Journaling by Fives. I did this book, well, you can see, I used it in April and May, but I made it, I think, in February, maybe, of last year. And then I was just kind of straightening out stuff in my crafts area and realized, oh, I never did make a video about this, and this book just makes me so happy. Journaling by Fives really is Shannon's idea of trying to get people to be less obsessing over details, not being afraid to try new techniques or to cut into paper or to use their materials because they think they might make a mistake or something like that. So there is a time limit for each step in the Journaling by Fives process. You do 20 pages, and you do 20 pages in 15 minutes for each of the 5 steps. You think, oh yeah, right, I could do that. Just be brave, put your timer on, and do it. You will be just amazed at how it works out in the end, and I really learned a lot, and I would like to do another book. Doesn't have to be a book. I used a composition book for mine and put the 100 pages, stuck them together 5 at a time so that I came out with my 20 pages. You need something sturdy, and you only work on one side of the page. And let's see, so that if you have to go to the next page, and so you don't want to be squashing a wet page as you turn, to your next one. So, let's see. There's the 5 steps. 15 minutes. You can, in actual working time, in an hour and 15 minutes, you can produce a lovely book. You could use 20 cereal box fronts and backs. You could use a sketchbook, or just what you use, the size of it or anything like that really doesn't matter, as long as you have 20 pages. And you will need drying time, if you're in between, before you go on to a next step. So depending on what kind of media you use. And you really don't need, you just use what you have. You don't need to go out and buy anything. I got this, I don't know, was it 50 cents maybe, the book at, well, they have them at Dollar Tree, but I think I got a bunch of them for 50 cents a piece when they have the school supplies. That's the time to load up on stuff. Anyway, let's see what else. Okay, the 5 steps. The first one is you put is color. You put some kind of color on your page. The second step is is texture. So you have you might take some netting, or you take some corrugated cardboard, or your ribbon, or even it can be texture that is visual. So you glue something on that looks like texture, even though it isn't texture. Okay, I think she calls that collage, but anyway, then the third step is you use stamps or stencils, and you don't have to have those either. You know, you can just make them up, put a rubber band around a piece of cardboard and plunk it into your paint and blob it on. The whole point is you just keep moving. You well, if you want to get something on 20 pages in 15 minutes, you can't sit on your hands and think about it. Obviously, you have to have your materials laid out ahead of time. You know, whatever you're going to do. But the idea is really not to plan out your pages. When you watch Shannon for the first time, when she tells about it, she wants you to just pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. So you're not really thinking about, is this going to go together? At the end, you can always go back and, you know, it's your book. You know? You're supposed to go back then and finish and do up whatever you would like to fix. But it's really the experience of pushing yourself ahead and not just sitting there and thinking, because it can take me a long time to get projects done when I obsess just over no, I should use this color, or blah blah blah, or, oh, do I really want to cut into this paper, or whatever, you know. Okay, so then the fourth step is a focal point. And so that can be a picture, or it can be words, and you can cut them out of magazines, or you can print them off, or you can write them out. You can have pictures and or words. And then the final thing is details. And so you go back and you draw in, doodle, you know, just finish it off to how you... But again, that doodling and everything, the first pass is just 15 minutes on the 20 pages. So just give yourself, you know, an idea of what you're going to do on that page, move right on to the next one, and then after you've done all 5 steps, at your leisure for as long as you want to, and you'll see I have one page in here that still isn't done. And I've added over the year's time other things, and I've made this into a day book. So let's take a look at mine. I put on the cover just some leftover pieces. This isn't all of one, it's like 3 different pieces of stuff. But I use it as a day book. It's not a journal, it's not a planner, it's just I tell a little bit about every day. What we eat, if we went somewhere, somebody came to visit, what the weather is like, just on a little 3x5 card. And I use different formats for that. Right now I'm actually working in a little planner, you know, but this time I put my Journaling by Fives journal to good use by using it as a day book for the months of April and May in 2015. And I just decorated along the side with a little bit of washi tape. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna back up just a little minute here. See how this is going to work. Okay, you can see over here on the side I used pieces of scrapbooking paper, you know, that weren't maybe my most favorites. Leftover scrapbooking paper that kind of matched. And this part over here is not part of the Journaling by Fives. It's just what I did. And I decorated it with some washi tape here. And I used my 3x5 cards to kind of tell. Like here it says April 1st, it was a Wednesday in 2015. It was 50 degrees out. It was sunny and calm. We had a chicken casserole. We went shopping at Walmart for little household items. Hubby tried the rototiller. The soil is great. One daffodil is starting to open. And so that, you know, so these were 3 days then that I just put my cards on there. Okay, but now here's really the real Journaling by Five idea. On the back of this, I have to look. I used memento inks, and I just stamped on some, just used the ink pad, the little almond shape, kind of like that. Put color of green and orange on. And then I took 3 strips from a phone book and just tore 3 strips. That was my texture, and glued those down right, left, and middle. And then I did some stamping here. You can see the keys. And then for my focal point, I had this picture of this guy with his hand up, like he's saying, yes, I'm telling the truth. But then down here he has his fingers crossed. And it wasn't until later that I found this title, The Half-Truth and Nothing But, which I thought was really great, and it just pulled it all together. So you think, oh gosh, will I ever find stuff? Yeah, it will. It will really work out. Then for my pen and pencil work, say I just went around the title, I think with a black Sharpie, and I put one around the edge with like a copper Sharpie, and then later still I made some little corner pieces on my scan and cut and put that on some. Okay. Alright, here again I did some doodling later on to decorate and cut these, but this was later, after my book is done. Okay, this page, here I put color on with my Memento inks, and I did use some watercolors too. There's, I don't know if you can see that green. That was just watercolor that I went and I had my watercolors out in the brush and the water, everything, and just then I put between the pages as I turned over and went to the next one, I put wax paper in between so that it doesn't stick. For my texture, I used this is aluminum tape for on your heating ducts, like that. And for my stenciling stuff, I used some drywall mesh, that sort of self-stick stuff, and I just put that over and rubbed white paint through it. Okay. This dealie for my focal point was off a birthday card from my stockbroker or my insurance agent, I forget which. Well, anyway, happy birthday, and just kind of doodled around that, and then added You're Never Too Old to Dream, and the stamping was, there's dream there, and then I just, sorry, you can see I just doodled, and sometimes you think after you get going at it and you think, oh geez, what is that? But really, in the end, no, every one of these pages came together. So and it just makes me smile yet to see this, how this book came together in the end. Okay, this one has some brown over here, and on the background, oh, I think some highlighter pens too for color, and just kind of scribbled for some of the pages. So here, there was some yellow and orange, and maybe a little bit of green. Okay, and my texture were these butterflies that have glitter on them. And for my stamping, I just took the lid of something or other and put it into the ink or the paint and just made some little circles around there. And I think my original words were butterflies are free. And I had, I think Act Now was in a pile of papers that I had. Later on, I found limited time offer, hurry while supplies last. So, and I just drew around, you know, I'm not the best doodler. I guess I put some little antennae on the butterflies, and I drew around the words, and you know, I'm not like, oh, Shannon's such a good doodler. I'm not. I really have to work at it. But anyway, all right. So here again, I just tried to go through my stash of papers that I probably wasn't going to use for something else in my paper projects, and sort of matched them up to the colors on this page. Here was Memento inks, and for the background, and it's like 3 colors. And so I just and went on to the next page. You know, my texture was a paper doily. My stamping says, since I had a heart, I had hugs and kisses. Then my focal point was this sticker that says follow your own heart. And then I just took my colored Sharpies and just kind of drew around the heart and like that. Yeah. This page was watercolors. Oh, I was getting tired. I usually use a tripod, but I'm just propped up on my laptop here. This I used watercolors here, and my texture was some crochet thread that has, I don't know, can you see it has little gold metallic thread wound around it, and I put that in like not Mod Podge, one of those products that's like that. You could use glue, and just kind of made a tangle. And I would do that again. That is really on there. There is no, that is not coming off. So I would use that technique again. And it made me think of this quote, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive," by Sir Walter Scott. Oh, my hubby's home. He's been to town. Brought stuff for the makings for pizza. That sounds good. I hear the rattling of the bags even now. Okay, then I drew this spider web and in the doodling time, and I made these little spideys. And later on, then I went in with the whiteout and gave them eyes. This this again was from the cover of, I don't know, some tradesman's birthday card to somebody in our family. And I had this, "The party starts now," in my stash. So that made the words. I think this was just scribbled Sharpie and watercolor in the background. Did some more of the circle stamps. I had this for texture. This I was learning to make folded bows, origami bows, and had a few extras left over, and it kind of went with the colors, and so that got put on there. And really not much doodling here. I just kind of drew with the gold Sharpie and just drew around my pictures. Then, you know, later on I doodled on the pages for my day book. But you can see these pages, this is 5 pages together. They're really nice and, you know, sturdy. And some of them I put together with just Elmer's glue, and some with my ATG gun, and some I just put the 5 pages together and went around the edge with Scotch tape. Gosh, I forget. I used a whole bunch of tacky glue. Just a bunch of, I have to do something here. Bend my book back a little bit. Okay. Here we go. Oh, don't fall off. You're going to get a headache from watching this wiggle. Okay. This page, this was, oh gosh, I think it's like pink and blue. Yeah. Some ink and some scribbles. and a little bit of watercolor, looks like. Anyway, the picture that I put down was this. I didn't have any preconceived ideas of how the page would go. And I had this lady sitting in the woods with her purse and a bowl of fruit. What her deal is, I don't know. I don't think I want to know. Anyway, there she was, and I thought, well, what am I going to make of that? See, you don't second guess yourself. Just pick stuff up and glue it down. All right, my texture was, it's shiny. It's the decorative edging off a pretzel bag that I glued down. And some leaves here, some old silk leaves that I had. Okay, then I had cut out these words in my kind of word pile from, I think it was a devotion book for young mothers. There's a green plastic monkey in my purse. I just thought that was too funny, you know, to really be encouraging to them, how their life has changed. Anyway, so since this lady had a purse, I put that on there. And then she had her finger kind of by her mouth a little bit, so I typed out, shh, don't tell anybody. When later on, I was able, after, you know, all my minutes were used up and I was going back over the book, I was able to find some green monkeys to add to the page. So, yeah. Alrighty. Here's another. This lady was in the woods with the other one. What their deal is, don't have a clue. Anyway, she's holding up her hand, and I had this little purse with some money in it. So I thought, okay. My texture was, I put that on. My texture was some rickrack. And I found this quote, had this quote in my pile. A woman's best protection is a little money of her own, and that's by Claire Booth Luce. Okay. And so then when I did my doodling, I did the best I could to draw some little money. And the money is flying into her purse, not out. You know. So I think maybe you can see from a page like this where as I did each step, I really didn't know what the next step was going to be. But in the end, it works. Makes me smile. Here was a page where you really can't, I don't know that you can see hardly any of what the background was. Once I got to doing the texture, which really was this satin ribbon here with these little like velvety paw prints that I had left over from a pet album that I made for one of my parents' friends, or a couple who have a little doggy, and Mom wanted to give them a gift for, well, put the pictures in about the dog. Okay, so I had all these pieces left over, and letters and borders and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what this page really, how that came together. And I guess the stamping was, I guess these circles around the paws. And the texture was this, was the, at the top and bottom with the little fuzzy ribbon. And then there's a lot of focal point here, but each one of these is just all, it's just a collage of stuff. Okay. I think I might have added the bark and the arf later with letters that were left over. Okay. This page is about country. I had in my stash some stickers with barn and chicken and like that for a long time, and there's a hen at the top. Hadn't really used those for a long time, and I was determined, so I just put those in the pile. Thought, well, what will I do with this? And here you can see it's just sort of watercolors and highlighter scribbles. My texture was some little rosettes that I had made. Okay. And put those on. This is from a bag of tortillas. And let's see what else. My stamping was just some circles here that I went around the little chicks. My doodling was to make a border. Okay, I think I stamped with the end of a pencil. Okay, let's see what else here. Anyway, it says, what? Home Sweet Home, Indiana. Okay, fresh eggs for sale. I think I'm going to run out of time on here, but if I do, I'll just start another one and put it together. Okay, this one was started out with some blue and orange blobby, inky, painty things. And so then I put some blue painter's tape on there, and I really, for a long time, I just skipped this page. I didn't know what to do. Finally, I got down to the end, and I thought, okay, didn't know what to do about it. So I had this lady, and I put colored in the question marks because I was confused. And I did some little stamping here. Well, then I finally drew question marks in that. I even wrote on there what to do, don't know. I did some doodling, and after all of this was done, I found this wonderful signpost that says lost, confused, unsure, unclear, perplexed, disoriented, bewildered. So it just worked out perfectly in the end. So even my worst page was just, came out good in the end. This is, oh gosh, what did I start with? I think just some green and orange blobbies. And my texture was this self-stick seam tape or hem binding, like for woolen garments. And I thought I was going to make it like into a house, and I had put some tag stamps like windows on there. And then in the end, I used some stickers that I had in my stash from Hobby Lobby that were kind of the right color. And I did some doodling around the edges. And then later on, when I was sorting through some sympathy cards that I got for when my mom passed away, this one just fit in real good with the nature. It says, God speaks in gentle whispers on the wind. Oh gosh, what does it say there? In warm rays of sunshine, in the beauty of nature. So again, it just kind of all came together in the end. And I don't like to be messy when I craft. And this process really made me less uptight. It really did. Okay, it looks to me like I'm gonna run out of memory, so I'm gonna stop here and we'll come back to this page and see you soon. I'll be back in a jiff. There we go.